One day, you'll look back at your life and realize what truly mattered. But by then, it might be too late to change anything. These are the 8 regrets people have right before they die. Watch closely so you don't make the same mistakes. Regret 8. Delayed joy and presence. I wish I hadn't postponed joy and lived more in the present moment. We're all guilty of it, constantly thinking about tomorrow while today slips through our fingers. At life's end, people realize they spent their precious time either dwelling on the past or anxiously planning the future, missing the only moment life actually exists, now. They believed real life would begin after achieving some future milestone, but that moment never comes. Like Maury Schwartz observed, most people go through life half asleep, not truly engaging with their experiences. Stop postponing joy. The past is a memory, the future is imagination, but life only happens right here, right now. Regret 7. Prioritized work over life. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Congratulations on that promotion. Too bad your kid's childhood expired while you were at the office. This regret echoed through almost every male patient's final days. They looked back at lives consumed by careers, realizing they'd traded irreplaceable moments for the illusion of productivity. They missed their children growing up, quality time with partners, and friendships that withered while they chased promotions and paychecks. The brutal truth? That corner office and bigger paycheck meant nothing compared to the relationships they sacrificed along the way. Was that extra overtime really worth missing your kid's football game? Regret 6. Abandoned personal aspirations. I wish I had pursued my dreams and personal legend. Remember that dream you had? No, not the one about flying, the one you abandoned for a sensible life instead. At life's end, people realize they abandoned their unique calling, what Paulo Coelho termed their personal legend. They chose predictable security over their soul's purpose. Like the crystal merchant in The Alchemist, they let fear paralyze them. Fear of failure, judgment, or even success. Here's the gut punch. It's not just about missing happiness, but failing to fulfill what felt like your only real obligation in life. What dream keeps nudging you that you keep ignoring? Regret 5. Lived by others' expectations. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Surprise! The most common regret isn't about skydiving or winning the lottery. It's about having the guts to actually be yourself. With death approaching, people gain painful clarity, seeing how many dreams went unfulfilled because they prioritized others' expectations over their authentic desires. It's rarely one big decision, but 1,000 tiny choices to please everyone but yourself. The sensible career your parents wanted, the relationship you stayed in to avoid judgment, the personality traits you suppressed to fit in. How much of your life right now is actually yours, and how much belongs to everyone else's vision for you? Regret 4. Withheld forgiveness too long. I wish I had forgiven myself and others sooner. Nothing like waiting until your final breath to realize that 30-year grudge was just emotional baggage you carried for free. As death approaches, people recognize how much precious energy they wasted holding onto anger, resentment, and guilt, both towards others and themselves for past mistakes. Like Maury Schwartz regretted with his friend Norman, letting pride prevent reconciliation until it was too late. The kicker? Forgiveness was never about the other person. It was always about freeing yourself. Who or what are you refusing to forgive that's actually keeping you prisoner? Regret 3. Suppressed emotional expression. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I'm fine. The biggest lie we tell right before developing an ulcer. Many people spent lifetimes swallowing their true feelings to keep peace, hiding both negative emotions like resentment and positive ones like deep affection. The tragic result? They settled for mediocre relationships while bitterness festered inside, often manifesting as physical illness. Like Yosef's regret, his loved ones knew a version of him, but never the authentic person with his full spectrum of feelings. How many feelings have you buried alive this week while telling everyone and yourself that everything's just fine? Regret 2. Neglected meaningful friendships. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Remember that friend you always meant to call? They're still waiting by the phone 12 years later. At life's end, people deeply regretted letting valuable friendships fade away. They realized too late the irreplaceable value of those connections. This wasn't a conscious decision to end friendships. It was death by 1,000 "I'm too busy" excuses. By the time they recognized this regret, it was often too late. Friends had passed away, moved on, or the connection had eroded beyond repair. That friendship you've been meaning to rekindle when things calm down, what makes you think time will wait for your schedule to clear? Regret 1. Denied myself true happiness. I wish I had let myself be happier. Plot twist. The thing stopping you from being happy wasn't your job, your spouse, or your bank account. It was you all along. Many people realized only at the end that happiness was largely a choice they could have made more often. They had actively prevented themselves from experiencing joy. It wasn't about lacking happy circumstances, but about their self-imposed barriers: fear of change, pretending contentment, and suppressing spontaneity. They denied themselves laughter and silliness, thinking it undignified or fearing judgment. What if happiness isn't something that happens to you when everything's perfect, but a choice you could be making right now?